Hello everyone, my name is Mitz, and here we are back with Higurashi When They Cry. So we last left off, both now Keiichi and Reina now can believe in a big old grand old conspiracy in the town. Not a conspiracy, especially since Reina likes to get rid of eyes and icky things, honestly. So it's a conspiracy. Especially since now there's Keiichi now fully believes, and it's now being touched on once again, and some people in a white van are literally just trying to find a way and stalk Reina this entire time, which has anything to do with Mio with the notebooks, or literally just the fact Mio talked to Reina like at some point before she died the festival, just hiding as well. Just Mio talked to Keiichi the very night of the festival itself. It might have something to do with it, because there's no other time that Keiichi or anyone else like were being stalked that we know of by people in white vans, honestly. And those people honestly do not look anywhere familiar, so maybe just because Keiichi couldn't recognize them because it's a small town, or the very least there's strangers outside of town, which is probably does not bode well, because why the fuckity heckity weckity are they fucking here? Plus, I looked into those this delusional parasitosis that was mentioned in the last lunch menu thing. It's literally all talking about the best way to treat is honestly just give him anti skin schizophrenia medication. Honestly, help tamper like those beliefs and symptoms. Honestly, just those two, and after just touching upon it a few times, this is literally just going to touch as a mass hysteria. Honestly, and if like that lunch menu thing from the psychological report did mention about it can spread easily, and also could be reason why people could commit suicide, like kill people in a bunch of abnormal ways. So literally, since I can't imagine that almost every single person's village has a very traumatic episode in their family life or anything like that. So I'm just gonna assume they're just something in the water. Someone just was tampering the well water, honestly. Which it sounds a bit anticlimactic, but at the very same time, the whole ending for like scenario 3 was all about a giant gas explosion. So anything messing around the environment is it's on the table. It's on the table. But since Keiichi now believes in the conspiracy, then how is this all gonna work out with him and Reina then? Like, since we're their perspective going back and forth, and the tips are albeit about Rika and Sadako. I should apologize, Reina. Yeah, you should be! There's people following us! I don't think I believed you then. I'm really sorry about that. It's okay, Keiichi-kun. I'm just glad we didn't get caught. Who are they? They are the secret police. At to nab you. Are they pawns, those religious fanatics who are trying to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama? Possibly. I think they don't realize that they're pawns, but I'm sure the masterminds are using them as such. Because it still could be a whole thing of like, it could be like someone at the, I guess the clinic, honestly, who's like if it's not Coach at the very least, it could just be someone from there. Because the only thing I can think about, since it was a doctor brought up in the first installment, was hey, guess what? There's just a random doctor from their town over is coming here to yeah, just check you out, Keiichi. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Actually, would kind of like make the kind of whole weird behaviors thing, I guess, match up well, but like it feels almost a tiny bit anticlimactic unless things are stacked on top of each other, honestly. So like if they do the whole thing, if like there's something in the goddamn well water, must some other things be stacked up, honestly. I think they don't realize they're pawns, but I'm sure the masterminds are using them as such. They must be the ones who have been pulling strings behind the scenes ever since the dam conflict. Well, it's definitely not a Sonozaki group based on, I guess, the literal deductive reasoning, honestly, the fact of, like, they wouldn't have helped with Satoshi and all that. Like, it doesn't make too much sense unless, they decide to let him go, or like, no, we gotta let the rest of the entire, town live in abstract fear, honestly. Especially since, Rika's forecast also did not mention Satoshi in any way, shape, or form. I heard that people working for the Sonozaki family did something similar during the dam conflict itself. Yeah, kidnapping a kid. Yes. Everyone knows that. Oishi-san told me that there was a kidnapping incident during the dam conflict. I guess I'm assuming that every time that Reina and like Oishi talk, it'll be the exact same information that we heard Keiichi get from him in the first installment then too. The case has been disclosed to the public, but anyway, Someone kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction and coerced the minister into promising to put a halt to the dam construction. The grandson of the minister was kidnapped? I never heard about that before. Not in this timeline. The minister submitted to their demands and they made a deal behind the scenes. That's why the incident never went public. Oichi-san only knows about it because he was in charge of the case. Okay, well, technically, he was brought onto the case anyway, like that, so, yeah. Okay. And? According to Oishi-san, between kidnapping the minister's grandson and blackmailing him, their tactics were frighteningly advanced. Yeah, the end result was really just to just get one word with the town and the dam conflict into the news, just to get it onto the press and more people like to get their eyes on it, apparently. That is high-level stuff, honestly. The police know the Sonozaki family gave orders to the kidnappers, but the case still remains unsolved. Just not the whole evidence of, I'm guessing the sound of it, they haven't found the kidnappers again. The very least, if they even did, they just can't prove or make ties, I guess, to who gave the orders and what way. There's no evidence for it. You know, there's strongly implications and ties to the family itself, so yeah. At that time, the head of the Sonozaki family, Oryo, had announced a plan to fight against the dam project by force. She even formed a special attack corps using the Yakuza group that's under the Sonozaki family's command. She was very serious with this plan to put the Ministry of Construction down by brute force. She couldn't do the construction. Everybody knows the Sonozaki family had tried to stop the dam project even if it meant breaking the law. So I wasn't so surprised to hear that she had a dangerous plan like that. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Mion who came up with the idea. The plan sounded just like her. Well, in the end, the plan ended up as nothing more than that. But the Special Attack Corps actually did undergo training, and very high-level training at that. Wow, so someone knows to protect themselves and use all manner of weapons. Oh, wow, golly gee willikers. Oishi had uncovered the information right after the dam conflict ended. At the time, Oreo even said that the village was going to be submerged. All members of the Onigufuchi Gardens would choose to stay in their houses and drown. Okay. So because Oreo was behind those things, I couldn't just laugh off the idea of an armed assault on the Ministry of Construction. According to the information Oishi seized, she planned a suicide mission as her last resort when the dam conflict started to heat up, in case the resistance wasn't successful. Okay then. Well, if you can, win the fight, might as well traumatize your enemies then, apparently. She had actually obtained weapons and put people through training for the sake of that plan. The Special Tax Corps were flown to America, having received a huge amount of money from Oreo for the operation. Okay, America is good for training, I guess? Military? Sure. In the southern desert of the United States. Oh, look at that. We're going back to Nevada or Arizona? Oh my good god. Some retired military soldiers gave them highly professional training. But the plan was never carried out. The Special Tax Corps became a death squad under the direct control of Oreo. They came back from America. They were involved in many unsolved terrorist incidents, and they succeeded in kidnapping the grandson of the minister as well. Yay. It sounds like it's from a movie or something, but this is not a movie, Keiichi. This is a visual novel. Do you remember how Michan said that she could do anything, from flying helicopters to using wireless radios? Oh my good god. It's actually all true. Seems like Michan joined their training. So that was all true? She's a regular on G.I. Joe. Well, let's put that aside for now. Play military games next. Anyway, you had to at least believe that the Death Squad actually exists in Hinamizawa. I just realized that technically Keiichi won against me on he has actual fucking military training. That. Be proud of that, Keiichi. Be proud of that. With a fucking machine gun, water gun. And they're capable of kidnapping the grandson of a government minister. I had to take a good close look at the four men in the white van today. But thinking about it, they did look professional in a way. They had big old business suits on, apparently. Oh, that's just their demeanor. They were pretending to be just taking a break, but I could tell they were tense the whole time. So, are they really trying to kill you? I don't think so. If they really wanted to kill me, I'd be dead already. They want to gather intel and interrogate you. So, what do they want? Are they after Takano-san's scrapbooks? Like you saw yourself, the group is very cautious. Unless we show them an opening, they won't resort to force. If they were the type to use force outright, they could have attacked me in my sleep. They hadn't done that yet, so that must mean they're taking it cautiously then, right? They're probably not sure that I had the scrapbooks. They killed Mio-san and tried to dispose of them, but they found out the most important ones were missing. They thought she gave them to someone because she knew her life was in danger. Yeah, there's that possibility I actually think about. Now they think I'm the one who has them. They're not sure, so they can't resort to violence. If that's actually the belief, actually, that they're like the motive is like going after someone who has the notebooks, then, then if that's the motive, to be hypothetical, then why? Like, did they actually think Keiichi had it the whole time in the first installment? Because like, if they like watched her and all that, like talking to Keiichi, wouldn't they unless they had to go somewhere else, wouldn't they watch them like interact for quite a bit and then see that Mio did not hand anything over to Keiichi actually? So there's another reason why, I guess in the first installment, at the very least, that Keiichi was being stalked, unless they actually like missed the whole, like almost all the conversation they saw them, they talked to him, so they just assumed then. Now they think I'm the one who has them, but they're not sure, so they can't resort to violence. Reina, it sounds like you're playing a dangerous game. Yeah, I'm a bit scared, but I won't be able to erase me so easily. After all, I'm cooperating with Oishi-san. I've been frequently contacting him in case something happens. What did he say about them? He said he'd keep an eye on the Sonozaki family so that he could catch them right away if they're working behind the scenes. Did you tell him about the scrapbooks? No, I didn't. I think you should. He's an officer. I'm sure the police will help you. Keiichi-kun, that's stupid. I can't even tell you the secret of this village because I'm not sure you'll believe me. Well, guess what? We can meet up in person and we can talk about it at length, ad nauseum. I don't think Oichi-san would believe me if I told him any of this either. Reina, let's not make it any more confusing than it already is. Just tell me, please. What is it? What's written in the scrapbooks? What's the secret that killed Mio-san? Simply put, if things are in the scrapbooks are true, the god they worship will be dethroned. Okay. Their god dethroned? Some other lesser god is taking over a revolution, apparently. There's also politics in the goddamn demon realm, apparently. Oh my good gosh. Yes, the sanctity of Oyashiro-sama will be lost. That's why they want to conceal the truth. They want to resurrect people's belief in Oyashiro-sama. They're believing in a different god now, slowly. Reina, can you explain it a little more simply than that? Like talking to a 5-year-old? I'm confused. Well, in other words, Oyashiro-sama isn't a god. I guess you're gonna say it's just more a mass belief then? He isn't? I thought he was. I had no idea what she read that made her so certain, but whatever it was, it'd be sacrilegious for people who believe so strongly in Oyashiro-sama. There are many teachings of Oyashiro-sama, but the essence is as follows. Don't leave the village, and don't let anybody into the village. So what the fuck was Keiichi let in? Oh my good god. One can even say the rest of his teachings were developed to maintain those two fundamentals. It really wasn't until later on they added aspects like love your neighbor, or viewing him as god of marriage and domestic prosperity. That's new. Marriage and domestic prosperity? That's... okay. Oh my god, because the whole thing really shares something. Like, they're tying in, like, any other, like, domestic squibble, honestly, or just, like I'm a fight with friends now, honestly, just, you're breaking the tradition of, your share some of them, too, like, they'll be all, again, being cursed like that. Oh, good gosh. In other words, Oyashiro-sama exists solely to stop the villagers from going out to the village. Oyashiro-sama doesn't bless the villagers or protect them from disasters. The people believe that Oyashiro-sama does all that for them. The truth is that the people abuse his name for that purpose. Generation after generation, nothing more than that. Why did Oyashiro-sama descend in the first place? Because demons came out of Onigafuji Swamp and attacked people. In fact, that was the wrong interpretation. Demons didn't come out of the swamp and attack people. People became demons and attacked others when they were possessed by whatever came out of the swamp. Whatever came out of the swamp, or they drank the water from the swamp, and they got the delusions. It's all in the water. Whatever came out of the swamp. Is there a filtration plant nearby? They must be having a great time. Whatever came out of the swamp? What do you mean by that? Whatever came out of the swamp possessed people, crawled into their blood, controlled them, and turned them into demons. People had no resistance against whatever it was that came out of the swamp. They became demons, attacked the other villagers, and turned them into demons as well. Okay. That's right. Negative. It was a weird infectious disease that broke out from the swamp. It made the infected people go out of control. The villagers saw this disaster and explained it like so. Evil demons came out from the bottom of the swamp, possessed people, and turned them into demons as well. That is the truth of the story of the demons that came out of Onikafuchi Swamp. It actually explains the legend. So, was Oyashiro-sama a doctor who came from a foreign country? Okay. They're adding more goddamn doctor, adages. Oh my gosh, coach! It's not exactly correct, but he was something like that. He came to Onikafuchi and he treated the infectious disease. But he couldn't cure it for good. Mostly just tempered the symptoms then? Yeah, literally. All his treatment could do was reduce the symptoms of the infection. Villagers could have their symptoms suppressed, but there was no way to kill the parasites that had infested them. After a while, the village was divided into two groups. One group was made up of the people who were already infected, and the other consisted of the people who weren't. Without a cure for the disease, the uninfected looked down on the people who could only suppress their violent symptoms. They even talked about drowning them in the swamp. Okay. But they knew killing infected people wouldn't solve the problem. The parasites came out of their water sources, including Onikafuchi Swamp. They couldn't fill them all in. Or if they did that, they would lose their access to drinking water. Throw the bodies into the well so we don't drink it anymore. Get bottled water from other places. Get canned water. They would have chosen to leave the village, but that was hard for them, for that was the location of their ancestors' graves. Under the power of Oyashiro-sama, infected people could live without showing symptoms. So both those who are infected and those who weren't decide to live together equally, and to coexist with the parasite. Wow, mutualistic parasitism. Oyashiro-sama was impressed by the villagers' decision. He decided to stay there and continue to treat them. That's the tradition of Oyashiro-sama, the benefactor who stayed in the village to protect the lives of both human and demon. That's right. And Oyashiro-sama made rules in order to ensure the symptoms of the affected people would remain suppressed. The rules were to never leave the village and to never let anybody into the village. Well, it's really just since so many years passed, then the whole sacred rules technically don't really apply too much anymore because decades and centuries have gone by. I'm pretty sure those don't work. Traditions and all that. Tradition versus modern values and themes now. I understand why you didn't want to let anybody new into the village. It was to prevent the parasite from infecting anybody else. And since the whole delusional parasitism thing brought up there's the whole thing of mass suicide stuff that can happen, or some people get some to hopelessness and off themselves. It kind of makes sense, I guess, what that would happen with Tomataki if he was being attacked by several people, and also by Keiichi being chased around. There was also the whole thing of we already saw it firsthand in the last installment with Rika literally just clawing her own throat. They're just stabbing it into her neck and just grafting it, apparently. And probably from the sounds of it, honestly, that the police, oh, she did such a good job, apparently they can't notice there's a knife wound in there, just only her fingerprints. Her fingernails and that, oh god. Oh boy. I understand why you didn't want to let anyone new into the village. It was to prevent the parasite from infecting anyone else. But I don't understand why he didn't want people to leave. It seems like the parasite can only live in Hinamizawa because of the climate here. Okay, then get some ice cubes in here, make it literally make it a giant freezer then. It caused an outbreak of the symptoms in order to prevent the hosts from leaving the village when they try. That reaction is the truth behind the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The strongest symptoms of the infectious disease were violence and delirium. The affected people acted just like demons, and the impact of seeing them in the throes of the disease was strong enough to make others describe them as such. They couldn't even let people leave who had just come to the village. They left after being infected. They might go crazy in a faraway land, turn to a vicious demon and cause a disaster. Well, I can kind of see that with them, what happened with Reina, maybe, you could say on some level, honestly, but it sounds like their parents, honestly, like, her parents, honestly, didn't, have that. Maybe you could make a case for Reina's mom, a bit, honestly, from everything that happened, but what little we've seen of, like, you know, Reina's dad, honestly, actually doesn't seem to fall to that, because, well, he only started him, I guess, if we're gonna believe, like, almost everything about him, influences people's personality and stuff like that, like, it kind of just happened, like, the whole, thing with him, like, you know, with Rena, honestly, that just kind of happened because of loneliness from, the mom, and, like, they were already living in the village for a bit, for quite a while, and the thing weird about, you know, the dad and anything like that, from, years afterwards it all happened, and I don't know about that, Chief. I don't know about that, Chief. If they had left after being infected, they might go crazy in a faraway land, turn to a vicious demon and cause a disaster. Yeah, that's not really what happened. If it did, then the mom just made a small internal disaster in one single home. Infected people were never allowed to leave. When an infected person left the village, they brought him back by any means necessary. Those are really meant to be demoned away. Wait a second, Reina. That means everybody in this village, including you and I, are infected. Stop drinking the well water, stop drinking the tap water. But nothing happens when we leave Hinamizawa. In fact, many villagers move far away after getting married or something. Never heard of any villagers who went crazy and turned to demons after they left Hinamizawa. Yeah, or that's what they tell you, that nothing bad happened. Maybe that's the thing. You're right. That's because things went as Oishiro-sama thought they would. Do you understand? Wait, so you're saying you're going the whole fight of Oishiro-sama as a real, actual person, as a doctor, and then you're saying he's a god now? Like, you're talking that same exact person, and then he does not let the parasite go out then. Okay then, I'm getting mixed signals here. He isolated the village for a long time in order to weaken the power of the parasite. Hosts are very important for the parasites. If something happens to the host, the parasites that live in the host had to share the same fate. In other words, if the host went crazy and attacked people, the host would be captured and killed, which means the parasites would die with the host too. Wow, the parasites are pretty smart then. I see. You're talking about natural selection? Oh my god. Good thinking, Keiichi-kun. No stupid parasite would be that stupid and get themselves killed like that. No, they'd be smart. That's why every single parasite from generation to generation leaks their intelligence all the way to their host's brain then. Oh my good god. It all makes sense now why everyone makes so many goddamn and good plays. The parasites are making their IQ levels grow. Okay. I'm slowly getting lost. That's exactly right. As a result of living in this village under such strict rules for a long time, people who were hypersensitive to the parasite went crazy and got killed. They got so restricted by the rules, they started making loopholes, getting smarter and stronger. The strong parasites that made the infected people go crazy were also killed off due to the host's violent behaviors. As a result, only the parasites that acted nice to people lived on. Yes, be the nice manipulator that you're always destined to be, y'all parasites, apparently. And that's the explanation behind the mix of human and demon blood. That's for Legend of Oishiro-sama. It's not, if that's actually the truth, it's not what I wanted, but it still sounds cool at a certain time. But, like, the fantastical elements, though, that just sounds so goddamn funny to me, honestly. I'm just imagining some giant parasite just walking around the village, just like, hi, morning there, Phil. Oh, hi there, Larry. I'm just having a night in the town, going to get some groceries from the store. So, that means the parasite is almost harmless now. Yes. According to Mio-san's scrapbooks, there are actually many people who are infected by harmless parasites. It depends on local food culture. For example, about 80% of the people who live in a country where meat is a staple food are infected by parasites. Well, shit, I'm already infected because meat and food and all that, like, the fucking steak. hamburgers, pork chops, and all that, they're my favorites, okay? I'm infected this whole time. Don't listen to anything I say. I don't have good ideas. But because the parasites coexist with humans without doing any harm to them, nobody notices them, treats them, or tries to get rid of them. I see. So, like, I guess you could say the parasites took a wait-and-see approach then, too. In olden times, Wanta Nagashi was called Harawata Nagashi. Harawata meaning guts. Okay then. Well, you're taking him up. Is that like him like the? Are you like breaking down the kanji, I guess, then, or? It said that people back then used to eat the guts and infected people who went crazy. Oh, yeah, that's what it actually was called back then. No, not the kanji itself. Man, I'm stupid and glossing over it really quickly. It sounds awful, but it was something they had to do. Eating infected people? Okay, then, alright. About a vaccine? Okay, that's one heck of a way. Someone has a tapeworm, the best way to do it is eat another tapeworm, they battle to death inside your stomach then, apparently. Okay. You're very smart, Keiichi-kun. Mio-san also interpreted it just like you did. In the legend, it says people cut open and ate the infected ones alive, but it actually wasn't anything gross like that. They did it in a very scientific way. Just take a little blood sample here, boil it, curate it to be purified, then drink the rest of it. And do in the very center of town with everyone else, apparently. Okay. They created a vaccine for the infected people who died from the extremely strong parasites that helped the unaffected villagers boost their immune system. Huh. So how do you exactly stop them, how do you exactly do you plan to get rid of them, the nice parasites who don't want to do any harm, but it's some, you just, like, you just take a microscope down to, like, a random, like, villagers, like, you know, stomach, and it's, like, you just see the parasite there, it's like, oh, hi, I'm just here, don't mind me, I just want to live here for a bit, I won't cause any trouble. It's only when you try to evict them that they get hostile. God. Who was Oyashiro-sama? A scientist? He must have been from a very advanced country. Was he German? Is the true identity of Oyashiro-sama a foreign doctor who survived a shipwreck? This is kind of... I think to be the most likely answer. I mean, it all makes sense, but still it sounds so funny, honestly. He wasn't German, but he was a doctor of some sort. No, he wasn't German at all. He wasn't from another country. He came from the sea itself. It's kind of interesting to reveal the truth behind old legends, huh? I don't think that Reina's story is too crazy to be true anymore. It still sounds crazy, of course, but never heard any theories that explain the legend of this village better than this one. It's the most plausible, anything like that. I'm infected by the parasite too, then. Right? Well, how much water have you drank? Did you only bring him only soda from the city when you last came here for the solid month? You were here for a solid month, and I know there's some people like take hordes of junk food and all that. They've been purely eating that and nothing else. Then you're fine. Wait, no, that doesn't work either because a few times like your mom has been making miso soup and you ate it. So no, never mind. The water's always there unless a parasite can survive boiling water. Doesn't matter what, you're already infected. I feel itchy all over now. Oh, yay, look, Mouse Hysteria is already all over, is all here now, too, yay. A person is like a universe. We have countless numbers of bacteria in our bodies. Most of them not, honestly, they're bad, honestly, though. Some of those bacteria are essential to us staying alive. Exactly. Oh, like bacteria in yogurt, right? It's been so long since I heard anything like that. Okay. I see. This is also what Mio-san wrote in her scrapbooks. You know, termites, right? Yes, if you look from all above, they can make them this weird, giant, awe-inspiring looking house of like the structure they make. It means absolutely nothing to them, and they make it for no particular reason. To us, it looks beautiful. Man, don't know why this is being referenced here though. They eat wood. They actually can't digest it themselves. They have unique bacteria that decompose the wood fibers. As a result, termites can absorb what they eat. That's just one example of a species coexisting with parasites. I'm trying to think, is actually, am I thinking of like a different word, actually terminology? Because the first thing comes to mind is like mutual parasitism. Where like, I guess both take advantage of each other, but both help each other in a weird way. So I guess it's basically just like regular teamwork, honestly. Like, what was it? There's, like, tarantulas and, like, actually, protect, like, keep frogs around. Like, the frogs, like, help make sure, no, like, nothing, eats, the tarantula's eggs. And the tarantulas keep the frogs happy and safe. And plus, because they're working together, honestly, so both protection and also they get food out of it. It works. Don't know if that's the right word for mutual, parasitism, though. But yeah. You can also actually kind of add that to like, yeah, like I mentioned before, like other teamwork, since you're both like strengthening someone else, but at the same time you kind of relying on each other a tiny bit. Because nothing ever is exactly that, selfless. Honestly, there's always a bit of selfishness involved in it. That's what it always feels like to me, anyway. That sounds a bit harsh or anything like that, but I don't know how to describe it besides a general nice selfishness. I don't know how to put it that way. I don't know how to explain it like that. That's just a feeling again, honestly, not just pure selfishness though. I didn't know that. When I hear the word parasites, I feel creeped out almost instinctively. I just find it hilarious just thinking all the this whole entire monologue is talking about the nice and the evil ones, and I'm just thinking of almost humanizing them. But now I know some of them aren't so bad to us. Not all monsters are bad. The demons aren't bad, Keiichi. This is literally the whole thing I kept bringing up a few times. So the weird infectious disease that broke out from Onigafuti Swamp has been exterminated by now, or that we know of. Well, I shouldn't say exterminated. Mostly just, like, muffled or dampered. I should say it's harmless now. I thought it was a crazy story at first, but now I feel like I just saw the trick behind some crazy kind of magic. It's interesting. Oh yeah, this it really is, though. It is to us, but to them, it's business. But for the cult of Oyashiro-sama, this must be a very annoying theory. They're leaking all the theories out. We can't let the people know the truth. It's an information hazard to us. Of course. If Takano-san's theory is correct, Oyashiro-sama isn't a god. The punishment by that god, namely the curse of Oyashiro-sama that people have been so afraid of, will turn out to be just been the symptoms of an infectious disease. I see. That's what dethroning God would mean, in a symbolic sense. So the pathogen of this infectious disease was identified and announced to the public. The power of Oyashiro-sama would be completely lost. Oh, hi there, phone. That's right. Oh my gosh, Rain, I can't believe it. You have the exact same phone that that Shion used. That's right. That's what they're afraid of. Miyo-sama's gonna identify the pathogen, and for that, she was killed. So that must mean she identified it. Maybe she did, but she's gone, and she didn't say anything about that in her scrapbooks. That's the only reason I can think of, though. But it's the end of the 20th century. I'm sure the villagers have been examined by a lot of different medical institutions by now, right? Not many people let the village in the sound of it. I think the only closest thing you can get to there is, like, Okonomiya. People, like, adhere to those rules a while, so I'm, not really, unless some of the doctors here actually moved here, like, they're, like, learning, like, a lot of, like, had a medical degree. That's the thing I can think of, honestly. I never heard about anyone discovering a weird parasite like that. It's invisible to naked eye. Or if they did, they're like, no, this parasite right here, look at him, just look at him, you see him, wave to him? He's good. Keep him alive. I know. It's true that the pathogen has been found yet, but in fact, there is evidence that there is some kind of parasite involved. What? Really? When a parasite enters a human body, the body's immune system cells, eosinophils, and macrophages try to kill the parasite. They secrete an antibody called immunoglobulin E, IgE. The most common way of checking if a person is affected by a pathogen is to look at the levels of this secretion. According to Takano's research, people from Hinamizawa have a very high level of IgE in their blood. That's not all. They also have obvious symptoms of being affected by parasites. They don't have any allergies. IgE stimulants mast cells, and they secrete histamines and serotonin as a result. These cause an allergic reaction. Man, I was actually thinking I need to learn how I actually should look into allergic reactions because well, I seen a movie which literally allergic reaction actually was the big focal point of the plot, honestly. So yeah. Is that really how it is? An allergic reaction isn't pleasant for humans, but it's necessary for the body to kill the pathogen. Okay, then there's a parasite in your body. The only way to kill it is to upset your peanut allergy, and I'm gonna get you to bring a death so we can kill the parasite. Wait, what? You're gonna kill me? No, we're just gonna kill the parasite. We'll make sure you're completely fine. We just gotta keep you in that allergic state for a while, like in the very brink until you pass out. Then we save you. Okay, all right. The parasites don't want to be killed, of course, so they secrete substances that counteract IgE. As a result, IgE stops stimulating the receptors, the mast cells, which stop secreting the chemical compounds. As a result, the antigen-antibody reaction, namely the allergic reaction, doesn't occur. In other words, a human body that was infected by a parasite secretes a high level of IgE, but doesn't display allergic reactions. For your information, a human body that's infected by a parasite doesn't suffer from hay fever. You get hay fever due to your body secreting a large amount of IgE because of mistaken pollen for parasitic invasion into the nostrils. As a result, a large amount of stimulants like histamine will be secreted, but your body can't contain the parasite that is intended to kill. That's why your body continues to secrete IgE then. As a result, the stimulants keep causing allergic reactions. That's how hay fever works. If you have a parasite in your body, it'll deactivate your IgE and suppress the secretion of stimulants. As a result, you don't have an allergic reaction. In other words, there's no hay fever in Hinamizawa, and you can now cure your hay fever by moving here. Because there's no pollen, there's no large-scale flowers here, don't worry about it. So we haven't been able to identify the pathogen, but there's no question about its existence. Yes, that's right. That's true, that scrapbooks are big threats to the believers in Oyashiro-sama. This is like the story is now, it just feels like it's trying to, like, now it's framing itself, going against flat earthers now, basically. Oh, good God. Do you believe in the big ball earth theory versus the flat earth theory, or do you believe in the true definition? Dinosaur-shaped earth. They don't identify the pathogen, but they clearly prove its existence. Yeah. Pose a big enough danger to them to make them think it's worth killing Mio-san. And I guess since she's a nurse as well, there's like that kind of added credibility if like she's writing her scrapbooks, ideas, and theories. This really is a scary secret. Well, now you know it, you can't forget it for the rest of your life. I believe it because you took the time to explain it to me, but if you had skipped the details and told me only the conclusion, it really would have sounded too crazy to believe. I told you! I couldn't believe it at first either, so I thought you definitely wouldn't. So what's important right now is that there's a dangerous organization acting in the shadows to try and cover up the truth, right? Yes. That's the most important thing. I'm probably skipping over the fact, I'm trying to, maybe gloss over the fact of what their motive is, just besides they really just believe in I guess the cultural significance of Oyashiro-sama now, if like all this is right. Is that their whole thing? The fanatics who want to revive the sanctity of the god they worship. Reviving the majesty of their god means reviving the power of their god. The power of their god is the infectious disease. This infectious disease can't spread nationwide, unlike other infectious diseases. So from now on, I'm going to start calling it an endemic disease. That fits better, since this only affects this region. Anyway, the endemic disease of current-day Hinamizawa is different from the one of old times. Yes, it evolved just like people did. It's been through a process of natural selection and evolution, and it's harmless now. In other words, it doesn't do any harm to human bodies. The harm was once interpreted as a curse. You know, this just hit me now. Literally, literally this turned into a whole thing of evolution is literally the thing that's like, it's like harming against I guess like religious teachings. Honestly, that's what it's going to actually. Now thinking about it, oh good God, that harm was once interpreted as a curse. A curse is the power of God, so a harmless endemic disease means that God is powerless. That means the only way to regain the majesty of that god is to revive the curse. In other words, they want to bring back the primitive endemic disease, namely the harmful, strong version of the parasite. Okay. Wait a second. These fanatics want to deny the fact that their god was actually a parasite. For saying that they were researching the parasite. That's contradictory, isn't it? They have means to their own end. If people are not that simple, honestly. It could be just all those things. They know the threat, but they're trying to research it to make sure it's mitigated. To doesn't let anyone else like know about it, so they can use their own gain. Could be that too. I know it is. I think that this research is a secret that only the head of the Fanatics is aware of. From the outside, they look like they're praising their god, but they actually understand its true identity, and they're trying to revive its supernatural power with their own hands. So basically just means, like, honestly, if all this stuff is actually true, then it means whoever's honestly a very committed doctor is like I guess one of the true masterminds, honestly. So we don't have to focus on the director, it's the doctor then. Unless the director is also a doctor, which means they're both doctors, and that's confusing. Let's just refer to them back to doctor and director then. I get it now. Oh my god, this is getting crazier and crazier. It didn't say in the scrapbooks, but I'm suspicious of the clinic the manager owns. Yeah. The Erie Clinic. Look at that! Look at that! It's fucking Coach! It is! And if it's not, then someone from that fucking group then is suspicious. And this whole time technically we didn't see them, but that's the whole thing entirely then. Why? The facility is too big and fancy for Hinamizawa. They have all these fancy gadgets which this homely country town shouldn't have. Oh, it's insanity. We need to get rid of it. But they still let it keep it there. Mio-san was working there. The manager might be a bacteriologist the Tsunezaki family recruited. It can't be. I think Mio-san was murdered because she knew too much. Honestly, this has to be someone who has enough money and, like, some, I guess, either connections or power in the Tsunezaki group to, like, to be around to, like, know things are happening in the town itself. Or literally just, not power in the family itself, but, a lot of connections they can talk to, honestly. So, literally, yeah. Their own type of, parasitism. Teamwork! Because teamwork makes the dream work, apparently. Or nightmare, in this case. I think Mio-san was murdered because she knew too much. The reason why the manager hasn't been murdered yet is because he's working for the Fanatics in the first place. And in the third installment, then, he tried to commit Keiichi, then the secret guy got let out, and he was secretly killed, or he committed himself. And then they decided to destroy the whole town because their whole plan is now in ruin now. And he's researching the primitive form of the endemic disease. It's hard to believe that a coach we know is capable of doing things like that. Well, guess what? People have different sides to them, Keiichi. We didn't learn about this in the second installment for no reason, even though you don't remember that. It's still there, underneath the surface. I'm sorry. He might be totally irrelevant. Just a wild guess. Someone is doing the research somewhere, that much is certain. We don't really know anywhere else so far anyway, so infiltration, the Erie Clinic, let's go. After 5 years, the research has finally been completed. The first case was the dismemberment murder by the damn construction workers. Their quarrel had turned to lynching. They might have had the primitive infectious disease. The symptoms and the aggression and delirium might have kicked in. Or maybe, like, I'm trying to think, like, maybe actually, like, somehow, maybe, like, Oh, there's the whole fact of, like, the aunt, like, was thinking, like, the whole villagers hated her. Like, she was terrible, but I'm just wondering, if, like, each case in some capacity has something to do with, this research, then? In some shape or form? I mean, because why then was the note removed from, the note removed from Keiichi's letter from the very first installment, then, you should reinvestigate that very first incident, then. Why would that be completely, utterly, removed? Unless they knew it's gonna be a threat. So, So literally, the whole curse started from, whatever the director, I guess, the construction, like, foreman, I guess. Like, what he found out, I guess? Their quarrel had turned into a lynching. They might have had the primitive infectious disease, and the symptoms, the aggression and delirium, might have kicked in. The victims the second year were Sadako's parents. Don't know how they would actually be involved in the research itself unless they saw something or other. It was in the park, so there were no witnesses, so the whole event is veiled in mystery. There's a theory that someone might have pushed them over the cliff, since the fence of the observation deck that they fell from was quite sturdy. Like, I thought it was like the the deck fence, like, tampered with. Or, oh no. Oh, I think I literally just confirmation biased myself and just to them, thinking like, oh, I think I remember now I had this idea, just, like, maybe, the fence itself they were leaning on, I guess, like, broke. And then fell, and now just, like, I confirmed in my brain, it's like, yeah, that's what happened. That's what happened. What if one of them was affected by the primitive parasite? He or she might have become violent and pushed the other off the cliff. And then jumped with it? Okay. The Shinto priest died from disease, and his wife drowned herself in the 3rd year. He might die of a shock because of a hypersensitive reaction to the infection. His wife might have gone crazy and committed suicide when one of the symptoms, delirium, kicked in. Okay. In the 4th year, Satoshi Hojo's aunt was beaten to death, probably by Satoshi himself. Everybody who knew Satoshi remembers how he changed the time. He showed signs of being both aggressive and delirious. In the 5th year, the first time in 5 years, the victim experienced the maggot disease, described in the old scroll of the Furude Shrine. There's a bit thing of that random guy just coming in to protect Satoshi-kun then, because if he had no connection with the town itself or anyone in it, are you just basically just saying the guy just like walked around into the town like, ooh, oh my gosh, I went on a drug bender and drank some water there, immediately got parasite, and the parasite's sort of just whispering into your brain, protect, say you did this crime, ooh, if you don't, then you'll be dead before you know it, ooh, oh my good god. There's probably a better reason than that, honestly. For the first time in 5 years, the victim experienced the maggot disease as described in the old scroll of the Furude Shrine. The reason behind that is unclear. The stronger primitive parasite could have given its victims a delusion of maggots. This means that they finally managed to duplicate the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Okay. After 5 years of research, just nab people on the streets and make them hear about people who have like we feel the sensation of maggots and worms crawling through underneath our skin and all of that. Do you feel it too? No? Okay, he doesn't feel it. Kill him. Get him out of here. The next person, till you know, you're thinking about it. I do too, actually. Oh my gosh, they did it. Okay, kill him so he can continue to reach it to the next person. Tomataki-san is the victim of the 5th year. He died in an extremely abnormal way. And I'm the only one who understands his death because I experienced the same thing. Oh. Wait, is this... Oh, well, no, this is Reina's perspective, actually. He kept clawing his throat to get rid of the maggots and died as a result. With all that explained, I finally understand that maggot disease I experienced in Ibaraki. You're fucking telling me the goddamn fucking secret syringe stuff is only just literally just only putting fucking maggots into your system, like, completely. It's literally just putting the harsh, dangerous, endemic disease straight into someone's body to makes them like hostile and like off themselves. Okay then, all right then. With all that explained, I finally understand the maggot disease I experienced in Ibaraki. I left Hinamizawa and made the parasite in me uncomfortable. As a result, it tried to resist, even though it wasn't very strong, and it tried to make me homesick. With my parents' divorce, I grew mentally unbalanced, and I completely lost the power to resist for a period of time. The parasite was weak and harmless. My mental instability allowed it to worsen my symptoms dramatically. As a result, I went crazy and became violent. The delusion of Oyashiro-sama appearing to me in the bathroom was probably the terminal phase of my delirium. I craved the supernatural existence of Oyashiro-sama that was instilled with me when I was little. Then I persuaded myself to go back to Hinamizawa based on the delusion. Some of the transcendents of the Onigafuchi must have had the same kind of experience. They must have passed their experiences down as the acts of a god. I remember I once saw on TV that the indigenous people in South America used some kind of natural drug in order to have a mystical experience. Oh yes, have a drug trip. And that they call it a ritual to communicate with their gods. Funny you bring that up. So what the fanatics are trying to do is to spread the primitive parasites throughout Hinamizawa. I think that's their goal. But I don't think they'll do that without letting people know about it. Religions need ceremonies, so they create what they wanted to create and they wanted to spread it. I think they name it the Day of Oyashiro-sama's Revival or something, and they perform some kind of ceremony. It'll be in celebration of the revival of Yoshiro-sama. That's a bad thing, isn't it? No, it's not. Of course not. I think you could say that because they're trying to spread a very dangerous pathogen. Hey, isn't that bioterrorism? Wow, we were going into large-scale war and terrorism. Jeez, this is very bad. How do you plan to stop bioterrorism? How fun. They used it on Tomotaki-san, confirming that they succeed in duplicating the curse of Yoshiro-sama. That day of revival might be really soon. But wouldn't the police, like, find there's, like, some hole? Like, you know, a puncture hole in, like, the body of, like, someone's, like, body of someone? Because I'm pretty sure, like, you know, if you, like, put an injection to someone's body, like, you literally just see you have to put a bandage right back on there because there's no, you know, a small wound there. Wouldn't the police see that? Or, like, would the person performing the autopsy just not, like, just miss it, actually? Because the only place I can think of it would be is, if the police, like, actually did not find any kind of hole like that, is, in Tomotaki's neck, and then he clawed himself out from it. Oh, yay! Wow, great image, great image. Jeez, this is very bad. They used it on Tomotaki-san, confirming that they succeed in duplicating the curse of Yoshiro-sama. So that day of revival might be really soon. I don't know. It could happen in a few days or might take a year. This is way out of your league, Reina. This is a very serious conspiracy. There's nothing we alone can do to stop them. We have to report it to the police. Do you think they will believe us? It's their choice whether to believe us or not. No matter what, we had to tell them. Keiichi-kun, telling Oishi-san about all this means something that I have the scrapbooks. Do you think that'd be a problem? Yeah, you touched on it before, but you didn't say anything like that. Oishi-san came to me after Mio-san was murdered. When they killed Mio-san, they found out that her scrapbooks were missing. They also know that she met me in the library a few days ago. No way. You mean... Yes, Oichi-san could be one of them. Yay. It's possible that Oichi-san thinks I have the scrapbooks, and he might be trying to find out. In fact, he looked very suspicious, and it seemed to me that he didn't really tell me everything he knew. Yes, basically. He only told me things to make me suspicious of the Sonozaki family. He could have just been trying to look like he was on my side, but that he's actually their minion. Well, we already had that a few times. But the police are our only hope. No, most of the time, every time I hear the police and all that, just these kind of stories and all that, they're technically not very reliable, honestly. Keiichi-kun, you know about the fourth case, the case of the fourth year, don't you? Sadako-chan's aunt was murdered. I believe Satoshi-kun did it, but the police fingered a drug addict as the murderer. I don't know if fingered is the right word, but a drug addict basically just confessed. What do you think about that? Some of the fanatics are with the police. And they fabricated a murderer? It's the same with the autopsy of the Shinto priest, who they claim died from disease, and the inspection of the accident site where the Hojo family couple died. The police are on their side, it opens the door to many perfect crimes. Yay. The three families have been maintaining pressure on the police since the dam conflict. You've heard it from Michan that they also have considerable power over many organizations in Okonomiya, right? Yes, I have. It's only Mion told me that. Many people did. They told me the Sonozaki family holds influence over the whole city. That's right. Can't necessarily trust the police around here. Trust issues everywhere. Reina, please, I want to make one thing clear before we go on. Are the Sonozaki family the masterminds behind all this? Does that mean Mion is involved too? Please tell me. I don't know if Michan or Rika-chan are directly involved or not. All I can say for sure is the fanatics have the power to control the nerve centers of all the three families, including the most powerful family of all, the Sonozakis. I'm not sure the fanatics are controlling the three families or if the three families are the fanatics themselves. As long as we're not sure about their involvement, it's better for us to be extra careful around them. Is that what you're saying? I'll use code language around them like Riku did with Keiichi then. Meow cat. Yes. I'm not saying I don't trust Michan. Just don't trust her in that way, but everything else, personally, yes. She's usually very reliable, and I'd ask her for help with any problem, but not this one. This one's a little different. I don't know if you've seen it before, but although Michan jokes around when she's with us, She can be a very cold person when she's acting as the successor of the Sonozaki family. Plus, even if she wasn't involved, we would put her in danger if we told her about this. If she was on our side, that'd be really encouraging. I think we should tell her. No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't tell her until we confirm she's not one of them. Sure, it'd be great if we can pull her to our side, but what if we couldn't? What about Sadako? So, how are we gonna fight against them? Well, this is a battle we don't stand a chance of winning to begin with. That's why I didn't want to get you involved. Damn it! Takano-san lent us a big parting gift, didn't she? Because of that, we know about the conspiracy. I believe this is her will. Okay, I'll stop. 2 kids challenging the mastermind who controls the village. This is gonna be tough. Ordinary methods won't work. But Keiichi-kun, I'm glad to have you on my side. We can talk about it and plan things together. Of course. I've always been on your side, and I'm your friend. I know. Thank you. You're very reassuring. 2 heads are better than 1, unless you're a Hydra, then just get 5. Yeah, I agree. We came up with a plan for how we're gonna fight against them together. I skipped school today because I wanted some time to read the scrapbooks again. I'm gonna school again tomorrow. I'm gonna act normal. They might sense something is wrong with me if I act different. You should do the same, Keiichi-kun. Masterful of lies, yes. Please be careful with Michan. She's sometimes very perceptive. Okay. I'll act normal, as if I know nothing. But damn, I'm a bit scared. A huge conspiracy is right around the corner. Might already be counting down to 0. It's hard to act normal knowing that. I don't think it's gonna happen very soon. Like I said earlier, if they really are religious fanatics, they need a religious ceremony. Didn't the festival pass by? They need the help of the whole village to host something like that. I can't think of anything other than Wanta Nagashi. So... Oh, wait, did I... My god, my memory is actually so goddamn terrible, honestly, thinking about it. Like, never mind. I feel like my brain is going bad now. So you're saying that we have time at least until the next Wanta Nagashi festival? I can't promise, but I just can't think of any other event than that. I think we have a year, at least. Well, at max. I also feel like we don't because of how they killed Mio-san. I might not know, but there might be a bigger religious event than Wanta Nagashi. A secret one. Might not be long until that day. It happens every single time on Sadako's birthday, apparently. On the day of Oyashiro-sama's revival, they're gonna spread a dangerous parasite, and that day might be around the corner. It's like 3 or 4 days away. Reina, you've been on the phone for a while. What's going on? Are you still on the phone? Wrap it up soon. It's getting late. My father stuck his head out from the living room, telling me I should need to hang up soon. I thought about telling him so many times. It's a natural thing that your parents will be on your side no matter what. But I know just how weak you can get, so I couldn't tell him. I mean, have you not read any young adult books where every time the kids tell the truth to their parents, they're like, "Ah, you kids, your imaginations. Are you feeling okay, sweetie? Do we need to take you to the doctors and all that?" No, just the nightmares. Don't worry about it. Never trust your parents with this kind of information. Lie to make it sound like the truth to get help. So I couldn't tell him. I don't think he'd believe me anyway. If I told him, he'd just tell me to call the police. But I thought I don't tell him. They might get close to my father to get me. If he didn't know anything about anything, including the scrapbooks, there'd be nothing to squeeze out of him to begin with. I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun. I had to go now. It's getting late. I'll see you at school. Okay. See you tomorrow. Be careful, okay? You're not an outsider anymore. You're now fully integrated into society now. Have fun. Yeah, I'll be careful. I remember the suspicious men in the white van. Felt a chill run through my spine. Well, here's the next thing you do. Get a disposable camera or anything equivalent and I'll see and take a photo the next time you see it. License plate stuff. Yay. They look like the villagers, but they weren't. They had a village accent, but they were just pretending. The more I thought about it, the more suspicious they became. Let me know that Reina and I aren't safe. If Reina's right, and they're just suspicious of her, I'm not sure if she has the scrapbooks or not. But it's still creepy. Reina probably experienced the same creepiness I felt when I saw the van several times up until now. She must sense the danger more than I do. However, the fact that they weren't attacking, that they were merely observing us, was disturbing. You just walk up to your room and, like, right outside the window, just see a random guy out there just, like, waving in. Hello, just don't mind me, I'm just watching. If they attacked her, she could have done something, like going to the police. But all they're doing is just watching her from a distance. She can't do anything about it. She can't talk to anybody about it. He probably just wants to stay in her house all day. Yay for paranoia. But she acted different. They might take it as proof that she has a scrapbooks. We had to think about how to fight against them without making it obvious. I told myself that there was no going back, and I put the phone down. Wowee, that was half the chapter now. Yay. Literally exactly an hour. Holy shit. The next day, Reina came to school, acting normally like she said she would, and nothing about anything at all. She talked with Mion as cheerfully as she always did, and you wonder if the story she told me last night was a complete fabrication. Good acting. Good acting. Shion is not the only good actor here, okay? Not the only one, okay? That's because the story really was too ridiculously crazy to believe. Will cement to your brain, then. This village is a very weird and rare endemic disease. And the religious fanatics who want to use the disease to revive their weird cult. That's a sentence you want to hear every day, any day. Now there's a weird vibe going through this entire village now. The air is off. Electric almost. They've been researching the pathogen of the endemic disease so they can spread it throughout the village. I was deeply influenced by Reina last night. I believe everything she said. And the tests are also there to make you doubt whether that's the true interpretation or not, so there's that. But thinking about it with a cool mind of the bright sunlight, it sounds too crazy to be true. The story Reina told me is based on Takano-san's crazy hand-me-down ideas. I mean, who's to say that it's like Takano is also not the origin of the mass hysteria, honestly? Who's to say she isn't? Because even at the very least, like, she's involved in any way. She's definitely involved with what happened with Tomataki in some way, even if, like, she didn't do anything. She was there when he died or something like that, or maybe, like, injected it into him or something like that. He died and she wants to hide it by taking his bike with him. Yeah. The story Reina told me is based on Takano-san's crazy hand-me-down ideas. It's entirely based on her theories, which, though very feasible, have no evidence whatsoever. They're circumstantial or circumspective, you can say. The fact that Takano-san was murdered lends credit to the story. I'll give you that, but... I looked at Mion. She was fooling around with Reina. It's hard to believe that she's involved with some crazy conspiracy. Are you listening, Keiichi? Gotta get into the character. No. What? Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. Wake up, sleepyhead. Flick. You need to get to sleep or your brain stops working. Mion made fun of me for acting too slowly. You just trip and, like, you just fall to the ground at half speed. It's almost impossible to trust this bubbly, cheerful girl. I trust Mion, just not with everything. I trust my friends. I know she'd never have a hand in a crazy conspiracy like that. If she knew about it, she wouldn't be able to act this cheerfully. Reina told me not to tell Mion because she might be one of them, but it might be worth telling her without letting Reina know. Of course, there's at least a 1% chance that the conspiracy is true and that Mion is one of them. If so, I'd be doomed. Have fun! If I had to choose between believing the crazy conspiracy theory and trusting my friends, my answer would be obvious. Both. I know that my friend, Mion, isn't a part of any conspiracy. She'd never be involved with something like that. Even if the conspiracy exists, I'm sure Mion will be on our side. So whether it's true or not, it must be worth telling Mion about it. And right now, if you just thought this says I'm on elbows you in the goddamn chest, honestly. You know what you're gonna do, don't you dare say a word. So what's going on, Kei-chan? I'm about to reveal you to you confidential, state, nationwide secrets, but you're not tell a word about it to anyone else. Why'd you call me out here? You told me not to tell anybody. You're not gonna extort money from me, are you? Extortion. Is it the first thing you think of when you're called out to the gymnasium storeroom? I can't believe this gymnasium storeroom is apparently where all the illegal happenings happen around this entire school. It's where all the illegal gum trading business for the little kids are doing. Oh, I know. You want to give me a love letter, don't you? We usually use a shoe locker for that, you know? We don't really do that in the city. Different tradition. A lot of guys hand over their love letters in person. Really? Gender culture, then. So, wait, you're, Are you kidding me? That's not why I called you here. Fuck, damn it. I had to talk to you about something very important. I want you to listen without making fun of me. What is it? Do you know there are people who want to revive the cult of Aoshiro-sama? Huh? What are you talking about? This, of course, is just my way of getting a feel for the situation. I want to see how she's going to react by getting straight to the point. But Mion really did look puzzled. People would normally react like this as somebody point out their secrets out of the blue. They always panic, if only just a little. Either Mion was a brilliant actress, or she really didn't have anything to do with the idea of reviving Oyashiro-sama. Yes, because if you know someone might bring it up at any point, you're that paranoid. Every time the thing gets brought up, I'm immediately just to have no reaction. Best way, best lie. I decided to tell her everything. Mion, your family, the Sonozaki family, has a lot of influence in this region, including Hinamizawa, right? Do you think there's a possibility that they are working to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama behind the scenes? Revive? Why? Well, you know, religious ceremonies and this and that. People today don't worship Oyashiro-sama like the people in the old days did. So, people like fundamentalists might be trying to make people worship Oyashiro-sama in the same way as the people of Onigafuchi. What? Wait a second. I have no idea what you're talking about. Are you sure? You really have no idea what I'm talking about. Of course I don't. Sounds like one of those popular novels that sold 5 million copies around America. It's the fucking New York Times bestseller, apparently. My good God, why does every single book I see in bookstores have the fucking New York Times bestseller? Not all of them can be bestsellers, apparently. They can't be number ones. God damn it. Mion's reaction was very natural. It seemed impossible that she was pretending that she didn't know anything about it. But regardless, I continued. Well, there are people like that in this village for real. Do you know anything about them? You're saying that those people want to make us worship Oyashiro-sama like the people at Onigafuchi did? Wow, cutting dismembering people? Wow, what a thrill, what a rush. What good would that do? You know, I think it means a lot to people who really believe. But think about it, Kei-chan. Who'd be happy to live under those strict ancient rules? In this day and age, it's almost impossible to live without leaving the village. But, for example, think about Rika-chan. Old people say she's a reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, right? Those people might be religious fanatics, and... Are you talking about old man Kimiyoshi? Well, I know he's a deeply religious man for sure, but he isn't a fanatic. He's not a zealot. Believe me. There really are people who are trying to revive the cult of Oyashiro-sama. Okay, I'll believe you for this one time. I'll believe you for now because I want to hear the rest. Go on. They found out the curse of Oyashiro-sama was just an endemic disease, unique to this village, and so now they're researching the pathogen. Where? First of all, what's an endemic disease? Yes, give me the whole scientific biological rundown. We're going to deep biology and all that in scientific fields, honestly, just to explain a giant conspiracy theory. Yay. What's a pathogen? Yes, this is going to be a long day. I'm assuming you went through this is lunch break, so hopefully you have enough time for this. Hopefully you have enough time for this. Oh my good lord. They sound gross. I was getting confused. I didn't know I was talking about myself anymore. It was deeply influenced by Reina last night, and I believed everything she said. But having it said out loud, I started realizing how impossible the story sounded. What's going on with you? Well, there's like the whole like maggots thing, which is not true, which I still believe in the heavy like thing of skepticism, honestly. The whole thing of people like following on Reina and all that, and making weird things to you. Israel. Let's go with that. Let's be paranoid about them and nothing else, honestly. What's going on with you? Did Mio-san tell you all this? How did you know? She's infamous for this kind of thing. She's the real person behind it all. Oh my good lord. She's an occult maniac. She always makes up crazy stories. A few people have gotten badly taken in by her before. You told me some of her stories once, and I remember they were actually very interesting. Is that true? I think you heard about this once or twice before, but this village has a unique culture back in the old days. They did a lot of oppressive things, like having very strict rules, very strict punishments, and a bunch of other cruel traditions. They're well known among occult maniacs. Mio-san is one of them. So the story I heard about the weird parasite that controls the village was... Wait, what? Parasite? Oh, you got her interest now. Is that a new story she came up with? What do you mean, new story? I told you, Mio-san is an occult maniac. She studies the weird legends surrounding Onikafuchi and enjoys making up hypotheses, theories, and wild stories about them. She's created a lot of different ones aside from that theory that parasites are controlling the village. One I heard an awful while back was about UFOs. God damn, why are UFOs appearing now? No! The aliens are here coming from the skies above! The lizard men are coming from the government now, too. That one was interesting. They connected a lot of different dots. The story is about a UFO that crashed in Onikafuji Swamp long ago. The alien that was in the UFO and the villagers had a battle. Or something like that. It was like one of those sci-fi horror B movies. The one Sadako heard was a theory about creatures from the bottom of the ocean. A movement in the Earth's crust opened up a connection between that underworld and the Onikafuchi, and, let's go into Greek mythology now. The lost city Atlantis is now there. Ah! Now you're gonna tell me that I'm on jet fuel steel beams, god damn it. The princess of the underworld fell in love with the young man in the village. It was like a sci-fi version of Romeo and Juliet. They both died at the very end. Okay, then. The story about the parasites that you heard must be a new one. Okay, then we had we're going from conspiracy theories, biological reasoning, schizophrenia, then just B-movie stuff, then Romeo and Juliet, forbidden love, and wow, so much is happening. The story about the parasites you heard must be a new one. Hope she makes all of them into a book one day. Mia began laughing so hard that she had to hold her stomach. As I looked at her laughing like that, I realized I fell for something that ridiculous. At that point, it was obvious. I'd been completely taken in. I'm sorry, Mion, but please answer my questions. First, do the fanatics who are trying to revive the cult of Ayushiro-sama exist? We don't know about that too much anyway. No, they don't. Or that you do anyway like that. I mean, it's totally the opposite. The three families have agreed to open Hinamizawa to outsiders in order to make this village thrive. I'm not supposed to tell you about this, but there's a project to build a new highway by the end of the 20th century. God damn it, the highways and everything like that. God damn it, everything. The Sonozaki family is promoting its construction without informing the villagers. If all goes well, the whole area will flourish. My grandma was betting she'll make a fortune that causes land price in the region to skyrocket. Most of the work will happen in the 21st century, so I'll likely end up taking over the project. Yay, in the good old, in the good old 2000s and late 2010s and 2020s. So, you don't think there are people who hate outsiders? I told you, there are no such people that you know of. Why do you think we want to make this village more inconvenient than it already is? In fact, we already started selling the land to the village to rich people who want to build country residences here. Your house is on the first lot we sold, Kei-chan. That makes sense. Didn't the villagers welcome you? The three families are trying to do everything they can to stop young people from leaving the village. It's all a real estate tactic. Ah! There was nothing vague about what Mion had said. It sort of makes a lot more sense to Takano-san's delusional theories, but what if, like a true conspiracy theorist, they all actually work together? That's what they want you to think. And so Mion's words woke me up from that delusion. So, what about this? I heard that the residents of Hinamizawa have extraordinarily high levels of something in their blood, and it proves that they're infected by parasites. I mean, blood pressure? I don't remember actually... Did Raina actually mention that with the scrapbooks over the phone? I don't remember anything about blood pressure, like, you know, proof something's in the blood, though. How did Mio-san figure that out? Nurse, I'm assuming. Takano-san is a nurse. I'm sure she can do that. Well, we don't really know what kind of nurse work she does. I don't even know if she's a toxicologist or she does blood work, honestly. And you think anyone would give her blood samples for no reason? She's very charismatic that way, don't you know? Because I sure don't. You know, she could get blood samples somehow. How and where would she examine them? That's actually where the syringes come from. It's actually not injecting him that parasites into your bloodstream. It's actually to put stuff into your bloodstream, then draw blood back out to sample it. Contaminating while also grabbing some blood just to analyze it. Okay. God. How and where would she examine them? How many blood samples do you think she examined all by herself? Mion was right. I couldn't believe I thought Takano-san could do all that just because she was a nurse. Or there's more people involved in the clinic. There's also that. It's not going to be hard to believe that she got the many blood samples and did a high-level examination like that without any help. When I thought about it rationally, I shouldn't have believed such a ridiculous story so easily. I heard that people here don't get hay fever, which is proof of their being infected by the parasite. Only people in cities get hay fever. I heard it had something to do with fuel emissions. Kei-chan, you're talking about Hinamizawa. I mean, even people in Okinawa don't get hay fever, I think. Ah! Well, what about this? I heard the Sonozaki family has a death squad and they kidnapped the grandson of government minister once. That sounds cool. I wish I had a squad like that. You're lying about that. Holy fucking shit. Even I was sounding ridiculous. I believed all of it last night. Unless literally everything that was said about him, yeah. Even the grandmother doesn't know about the kidnapping thing, which, yay. Well, it just feels weird, though, the whole point of it was to bring up the whole damn project, but at the very end, it wasn't the family itself. That's weird. Because, yeah, where they get reasons for that, for the minister and all that. Honestly, they kidnapped that kid, honestly. I believed it because Reina looked very serious. It's true that the grandson of the minister was found in Takasudo. We didn't do it, though. We just acted as if we did. Wait, what do you mean? Please explain. Okay. The Onikafuchi Guardians protested violently during the dam conflict. They did something close to terrorism as well. Would you say also bioterrorism? But there are people who use the resistance movement for their own benefits. They use the name of the Onikafuchi Guardians to rob people of money and valuables. The Onikafuchi Guardians were a very aggressive force at the time. There's a high possibility that some people thought they could use a name to extort money. You know, thinking about it, actually, like, if this is actually at lunch, or after school or something like that, Keiichi, don't you think it'd be weird that, like Reina would, like, see you, bring Mion outside to, talk about this at length, then? Don't you think that'd be a bit weird? Okay. There's a high possibility that some people thought they could use a name to extort money. The kidnapping case is one of those incidents. The kidnappers thought they could stifle the police investigation by acting like they were the Onikafuchi Guardians. They kidnapped the boy to demand a ransom. To tell the truth, the members of the Onikafuchi Guardians were all very surprised. But there was no ransom, though. Actually impressed those guys actually pulled it off. I remember they even said they'd give them an award. But wait a second. So the Onikafuchi Guardians had nothing to do with the kidnapping or anything? No, not at all. Mion said it firmly. It was a simple and clear answer, which left no room for suspicion. And thinking about it, it's nothing surprising. Kidnapping the grandson of a minister and negotiating with him in person is a huge deal. The Onikafuchi Guardians were a very aggressive group. This operation wasn't so easy that it could be carried out by any of the normal residents of Hinamizawa. It was obviously the work of professional criminals, without a doubt. They had a high planning anyway of that. I mean, we don't even know what the minister is like, or like his house or anything like that, but I can only assume, well, obviously, because all that, like, there'd be a lot of, I guess, you know, I don't know how high position it is, but like, wouldn't there be like security and all that? So, Like I said earlier, the Sonozaki family acted as if we were the masterminds of the kidnapping case. What do you mean by that? This is a secret precept of the Sonozaki family. I can't tell anyone about this, okay? When an incident like this happens, we traditionally act as if we're responsible for it. It's a tradition of bluffing. Wow, look at that! Bluffing? Really? Yeah. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it works out in our favor. It can be a criminal incident, the weather, or even lottery numbers. Get a fortune cookie and just say it's all your idea. You wrote this down. We had to happened because the Sonozaki family wanted it to happen. It starts to sound like we're a very powerful organization, doesn't it? That's the point. This is a secret strategy that only the Sonozaki family heads know about. This strategy is meant to make us look bigger and stronger than we really are. Wow. So, what about the plan they had during the dam conflict? The one to attack the Ministry of Construction. Was that true? I heard that they obtained weapons and even trained for it. That was the spin we put on it. There's no way we could actually carry out a crazy plan like that. Our real goal was to make people believe that we were capable of doing things like that so we can exert pressure on the government. That's all. We let everyone else do the handiwork of the terrorism and destroying the equipment then, apparently. Like, I'm trying to think, what would they even actually do if they didn't have the added thing if like one of the Sonozakis actually married a Yakuza member. What would happen then, actually? Would everyone just think I'm the same way, honestly, or because everyone knows heard the Yakuza are part of it, the family now, they now equate it to that now. They obtained weapons and went through training just so they can exert pressure. They had no intention of actually carrying out the plan. The Sonozaki family was just bluffing. So did they actually do training, or they did, but only from pressure, honestly. I can believe that. That made sense. Of course it did. The police attacked the Ministry of Construction. And if they did, it wouldn't solve the problem. All I had to do was use common sense. Was it really that common, though? You're literally talking about politics, Yakuza plan strategies, and after hearing Reina talk about Parasitic and all that, I don't think this is technically common sense either. Even if they did, they would have been crushed within seconds by a huge number of policemen. Why didn't I think of that? Yakuza. What about the weapons and the training? As for the weapons, no comment. Well, but we did go through training. We needed to do that in order to make the bluff look real. Yeah. We gathered some younger men from my father's office and appointed Kei-san as Kasai as a leader of the group. We went to a desert in Texas, played war games like some instructors, and went sightseeing in San Francisco afterwards. So, parasites aren't real? I couldn't think of anything else. It was obvious now. No. Reina and I both were completely fooled by the scrapbooks of Takana-san's delusion. Reina was so serious about it that I believed her. When I've examined it closely, there were so many inconsistencies. Or maybe that's what they want you to think. I'll keep saying this for every single thing we hear about now, because we're now fully into conspiracy theory times. That's what they want you to think. That's what Mian wants you to think. Because she said point blank that her whole family specialty is bluffing. She could be bluffing right now. You can never know, truly. I couldn't believe Reina took a delusion like that so seriously. I knew the reason why, though. She was still in a state of shock after being caught at the corpses that day. She was mentally unstable. Then she came across this tall tale, and she believed it. Reina's a smart girl. She wouldn't take it seriously if she was stable. Plus, another thing happened to wake me up from the delusion. The white van I saw yesterday came to school during the lunch break. The 4 men in work uniforms I saw were there, too. I said thank you to Mia and followed them. The man who talked to me yesterday knocked on the door of the teacher's office. Hello, I'm from the Okonogi Gardeners. Oh, thank you for coming. It's very hot today, isn't it? It sure is. By the way, you look very beautiful today, as always. Thank you. Well, you can start whenever you're ready. Yes, I'll start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you. The quote in the invoice, I see. The date's up blank on both of them. Well, there shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much. Alright, we'll start right away. The man was talking to Chi-sensei with a big smile. Hmm? What are you doing here, Maebara-kun? I'm trying to listen and eavesdrop on their conversation. Shush! Go away, Principal! Please! Oh, Principal. Well, I only heard that small, interaction, nothing else. We don't hear anything else. That's actually suspicious in itself, actually. Ah! Who is that guy? The Principal pointed his finger at the window. Looked out. I heard the noise of an engine starting. It was coming from the engine of a motorized lawnmower. What kind of business has a white van, a large-scale white van, and does not print their business on the side of it? What kind of white van does not do that? I saw a young man in work uniforms taking their lawnmower, some brooms, and a ladder out of the van. They're gardeners. They've been taking care of the grass around the fence and the trees for a long time. I want to clean them up before summer. Mr. Principal, thank you for giving us a call. The man noticed the principal, took off his hat, and bowed. No need. I trust your work. Please take care of things. I think we can finish it today. We might make a lot of noise, though. Each worker took one of the tools. Here's a power drill, here's a shear, and here's just a large-scale, it's just a large-scale lawnmower just to trim the sides of the wall instead. You heard lawnmower as well, wall mowers. Oh, good God. Where the grass was growing. The engine of the lawnmower is very loud. The kids who were playing in the schoolyard looked at it curiously. What are lawnmowers? Hey, it's dangerous out there. Go back to your classroom. It was Chi-sensei. She handed an envelope with the documents in it to the principal. It said Okunogi Gardeners in green in the envelope. Principal, please send the invoice and drop it off at their office next time you go to the town hall. Of course. Will do. Chi-sensei, did they come here yesterday? Yes. They came here to look at the grass late in the afternoon. They told me they got lost on the way back because they tried to take a shortcut. This village has a lot of small roads branching up everywhere. But that doesn't answer the whole fact of why are they asking about Reina then? Unless they just saw her, see them, go away. But then why wouldn't you just assume you're strangers in this village, stranger danger, and run and hide? Why would they? Okay. Remember when I first came here, Chi-sensei started talking about when she got lost, and they laughed together. There was never anything suspicious to begin with. There's a tiny bit of it, don't worry about it, it's pretty sus. I thought they were suspicious yesterday because of what Reina had told me. At first I thought it was unusual to see a white van. Then right after I heard a creepy story, I saw a white van parked in the road and I got scared. The gardeners weren't familiar with the roads at Hinamizawa, and they got lost trying to take a shortcut on their way back. And that's all. Are you sure? I had it totally twisted around? I believed that fake sounding story. I believed the Sonozaki family was working behind the scenes, and I fabricated the existence of a group of fanatical believers in my mind. Worse, I doubted Mion. Damn it! Such a fool! Are you not going to tell Reina that you told Mion all that? She's not going to trust you anymore. Maybe just say the whole thing about talking about the people in the van to try to ease into it without saying you just betrayed Reina's trust. Maybe she'll believe you a bit more, or start reconsidering things, or it'll go again about that's what they want you to think. They made a whole business for him. Such a fool. She's my friend. We took each other's hands that day, saying that we were we were a family made of friends, and that friends were friends no matter what. I said that, but then I doubted my friend. I'm so stupid. Anyway, Reina was the problem. Holy shit. She also need to wake up from this crazy delusion. I had to hurry and wake her up. Reina seemed like she had no mind to listen to anyone else. She truly believes the Sonozaki family are the masterminds of a large-scale conspiracy. I remember the plate number of the white van. I also remember their faces. Without a doubt, this was one of the vans that had been following me. So far, I confirmed that 3 or 4 cars have been following me. I especially recall this white van because it followed me around the longest of all. The people in the other cars must be the lookouts, and the ones in this van must be tasked with direct contact like kidnapping or assassination. The lookouts secure the surroundings, the ones in this van attack the target. There's a common maneuver involved in both kidnapping and assassination. Scrapbook said that too. Yay! If so, I better watch out because it was them, not the lookouts, who came to the school premises. I don't think they'll attack me while I'm in school. They're in the early stages of their covert operation now, hiding their fangs and claws until the last stage of their frightening scheme. So they won't take action in the school, where people are watching. It looks like they were talking with Chi-sensei in a very friendly way. That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think. I can only hear bits and pieces of their conversation, but it sounded very suspicious. I tried to remember the chatter and the movements of their mouths, and I played my memory of it like a video to my mind. Hello, blah 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 blank. Oh, thank you for coming. It's very hot today, isn't it? Why is just that name blank? I guess meant to be Chi's real name? Okay. It sure is blank you blah 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 blanked it today. Okay. Thank you. Well, you can start whenever you're ready. Okay. Yeah, let's start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you. What? Oh, okay. Just blocking that out, actually. It's the same conversation that Keiichi heard. Blank is a blank on blank. There shouldn't be any problem. Thank you so much. Alright, we'll go. I used the information I had to guess what was going on, put the video again and again in my mind, and I also paused it and played it in slow motion again to check many times. And something unbelievably horrifying started to emerge. There's no doubt that they're acquainted with Chi-sensei. Well, actually thinking about him, we didn't see him, unlike Keiichi's whole thing, where literally both several times, basically, Mion and, Reina, like, literally just went and verbally just, like, started, threatening Keiichi. Honestly, I don't think we have actually thinking about this chapter actually saw, I guess, anything that, like, all the badges besides the scrapbooks themselves. Nothing actually threatening itself nearby besides the talk about those guys in the van, which still seem a bit weird if they're just a bunch of people in a white van or just here. Because even if those are coincidentally people who have the exact same van, and like they're not the same people from the first installment, anything like that, and they're completely different people, then it's just weird. It's very weird. And if they are the exact same people, then they're kind of yeah, they're just like pretending to be this or that, but like they have been in this village before, but at the very same time, thinking about it, they get lost a few times. Either they're acquainted with her, or like they knew her before she moved here a long while ago. I've never seen them visit the school before, so it's hard to believe that Chi-sensei is their contact. There's no doubt that they're the death squad under the direct control of the Sonozaki family. They have the local accent, which proves they were chosen from the Sonozaki corps. If they're not from around here, but they have the accent, doesn't that just mean they're from Okinawa or something like that? I don't think we heard anything about dialects and all that, and accents and all that from this whole game so far until just now, so I can't comment or compare things, so okay. The death squad was talking with Chi-sensei. They know each other. What's their relationship? Who's Chi-sensei anyway? She's teacher who loves curry, that's it. Well, that's the thing. We don't really know her real name. What if her surname actually is Curry or something along those lines? I would burst out laughing if her last name, if that's she or sensei or like that. Or just her first name is literally just a goddamn curry pun. That would just be fucking hilarious. During the damn conflict, Hinamizawa's school was closed and was merged with the one in Okinawa. But the Onikafuchi Guardians didn't accept that, and they made it part of the forestry service building to a school. But needless to say, the school they made didn't have a teacher, so it was only going to be a token form of resistance. But a teacher who had a strong passion for education felt sorry for the children, and she came to work there. That was Rumiko Chi-sensei. God damn it! Unless that translates to curry in some way, then God damn it! It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. That pun. It was obviously strange. Teachers are government employees, and they normally belong to their prefectures. As long as they lie low and don't cause trouble, they don't get fired and they don't get demoted. We go that way. Isn't like technically the whole school area right here also a bit different, misguided as well. Some many different like students from different age groups are all together. So of course the whole entire school is strange then. They can work up into the official retirement age and they're guaranteed to get a fixed retirement fund. She's one of those government employees, but she defied the Board of Education and came to work for Hinamizawa. The villagers admire her as a teacher of passion. I heard that Oreo Sonozaki herself successfully negotiated with the Board of Education that suspended Chi-sensei for defying their orders. Oh, she was fucking suspended? Okay, maybe if that part is true, I can probably see why she starts being suspicious of that. There's a lot of things from all the facts that line up together. Like, it makes this big old web, apparently. Okay. But it definitely seems like just like how the other, like, chapters were, like, there's some, the truth that's intermingled in with the rest is just giant red herrings. I mean, I feel like the mystery is basically just the true answers like intermingle with what stuff later on. Then I guess, and like yeah, maybe. Like it's if like what was it like I've seen a few murder mysteries with like do whole red herring things and like, but if the red herrings themselves like don't exactly add anything to it or like add up to like it's the thematics and all that. I don't know what's a way to put this. I feel like I'm not explaining this properly enough. If the red herrings don't add anything to the story itself, not even to I guess, a character, or a thing that goes to the true answer itself, this feels like a waste, honestly. It was easy to get an answer from this by connecting the dots. Chi-sensei was recruited by Oreo Sonozaki as a teacher to work at the school the Onikafuchi Gardens had created. The word she was already working for Oreo before she came here. As the principal, he was the principal of the school in Hinamizawa from the beginning. He's a respected person in this region, been closely associated with the three families for a long time. That means this school has been under control of the Sonozaki family all along. We're never safe! That's why Chi-sensei is acquainted with the death squad. It all makes sense now. Chi-sensei confirmed that he came to school today, made a phone call, and called them here? I don't know. I don't want to know why they called them here. She called them just to monitor me. They wait near the gate till class is over. They came into school premises. Why? Stop pretending to be a fool, Reina Ryugu. Do you think nothing will happen if you pretend not to notice it? Think hard and calm down, Reina Ryugu. What will they try to do to me today in school? In school? How are they going to do anything with my classmates and friends around me? It's easy. Chi-sensei would tell me to come to the teacher's office during the last class of the day. What about my clubmates? It's easy too. Chi-sensei could easily make them go home early using her authority as a teacher. She can make any reason she wants. Maybe the classroom is going to have carpentry work done today, so she can't stay at school. It sure is. Blank use blank today. Thank you. Well, you can start whenever you're ready. See? There's no doubt. They said they're ready to do it today. What else? We have to start right away. My account manager told me to give this to you. Oh, yes, I see. It's left blank on, yeah, the whole invoice and all that. Well, there shouldn't be any problem. Yeah, it just seems like I'm, yeah, the whole mixture of, like, truth, but mostly a lot of, like, it's like one of those things, a mixture of, like, so many different truths and all that, like, added together to make, something, completely, complete false, honestly. I don't know how to call it, like, I guess you just say, like, just point to a picture, just, like, a person with a bulletin board with red string everywhere, and every single one, while individually true, do not add up at all. Entirely, that kind of thing. I see. They gave Chi-sensei an envelope with some documents in it. That blank is an eerie phrase. You talking about the giant X's everywhere, or just the actual one-word blank they mentioned? Is my name supposed to be in the blank? Why is it a blank? What does that mean? I told you, Reina Ryugu. You still think that nothing will happen if you pretend not to notice it? Stop that! So what it must mean is there's an order from higher up. It says to make Reina Ryugu become blank. I peeked in the shadows and I saw the principal taking documents from an envelope. I started reading them. Wait, were you saying that Keiichi was in this hallway the entire fucking time? Okay, then you didn't notice it? Okay. It looked stern. It looked very serious. God damn it, the gardeners are paying too much for the services. God damn it. Why do we need wall mowers onto the fucking wall to get rid of vines? Just use shears like an old person. Weed whackers, then. I wish I could take a peek at the documents, but I was too far away. Oh. I kept looking at it to see if he reacted at all, and then the envelope caught my eye. The envelope said Okonogi Gardeners and had some numbers that looked like a phone number. Fortunately, I had very good eyesight. Telescope vision. Memorize the number. For death squad, the gardening company must be camouflage occupation. Probably doesn't even exist. Look in the phone books, like from years ago. Hey, look, it's there. Was this made before the curse happened 6 or 7 years ago? If not, then I don't believe this for a second. I wanted to find out. I looked for a phone. There's only one phone. It's in the teacher's office. Fortunately, teachers were chatting in the hallway, looking at the gardeners. It was now or never. Made sure nobody was watching me go into the teacher's office. I rushed in and grabbed the phone on the principal's desk. I went over the phone number in my head and dialed it up. I'm glad they have a touch-tone phone. It would have been difficult if it was a rotary dial. Wasn't a rotary phone right there on the goddamn desk? Okay, someone else's. If somebody answered, I had only to ask, is this the Okonogi Gardeners? Wait for the answer before hanging up. It should be easy. It connected. The number you dialed is... I felt cold shoulder through my body from the bottom of my feet. Don't make a quick judgment. I remembered the number wrong. I know I remembered it right. It was an easy number to remember. It's impossible to remember it wrong. It's one of those on my classical movie stuff. Enter 555 at 6123. Yeah. If it's like that, then yeah. Then did I dial it wrong? I put the phone down and started over. This time, I dialed the number more slowly. The teachers might be coming back at any time. In that situation, it was risky to do anything slowly. I need to make absolutely sure. The number you dialed is... It's the same. There's no doubt. The company Okonogi Gardeners doesn't exist. Just a camouflage occupation for the Nozaki family's death squad. Please make sure the number you dialed is correct. The number you dialed is... I was too stunned to put down the receiver. Now as I kept running over and over again. The voice is cold and creepy. I got the phone and rushed to the teacher's office. I ran to the bathroom and held my head down in an attempt to cool down. Calm down, Reina. Calm down, Reina Ryugu. Stay cool, Reina Ryugu. I wasn't safe here anymore. My stay here might be erased, even in the open. They'd erase me? Why? They aren't certain they had the scrapbooks. I told Keiichi-kun where I hid the scrapbooks. Yesterday I told him I hid him in the garbage dump. Is Keiichi-kun in cahoots with the Sozaki family? Where'd that come from, actually? I felt as if my head was a pot that was cooking some dubious stew. There was only soup in my brain. I cut up clues, information, facts, just like I cut vegetables and threw them into the pot. Some of them were floating in the surface, and others were at the bottom of the pot. They were cooking up boiling soup. Okay, that's a cool analogy, actually, thinking about it. No, it can't be. Keiichi-kun is on my side. Keiichi, it all relies on you and how you refer to it. If you say complete straight to Mion, like you told me on it, then you talked to me on Reina, then have fun. That's on you. He's the only one who's on my side. He held out his hand to me at the trash piles. There was no lie in that hand. When I grabbed my wrist, I felt nothing but a strong and pure heart. He promised me he'd be on my side. I shouldn't doubt Keiichi-kun. He's the only one I can trust. He's the only one who's on my side right now. Or you talk to Sadako. I'm sorry, Keiichi-kun. Just to doubt you. I'm really sorry. So sorry. I said it on purpose, full of regret that I doubted Keiichi-kun, the only one who was on my side. I think about it, whether the scrapbooks or not might not matter to them. Erase anyone who's suspicious. That's the safest way. Does that mean they're in a hurry? The day of Oyashiro-sama's revival might be just around the corner. And that's why they're trying to get rid of any small fish bones that are stuck in the throat, by any means before it's too late. We don't need her anymore. Just erase her if you're worried so much. The easy picture Oryo Sonozaki saying that. Picture? No, she did say that! So they're here today. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Should I wait until school's over? It's like a fish in a pond here. How many times I escaped from the net? I was in the pond. They owned the pond. I don't stand a chance. What should I do now? What should I do now? No, I couldn't keep escaping from the net. I should get out of the pond. I didn't know how to fight them. I didn't know who was on my side. I was given to despair. For now, I had to think about how to survive this. So I at least had time to think about how to fight against them. To get out of this pond. When I was about to leave the restroom, one of my classmates came in. I pretended to be sick and talked to the girl while leaning in the wall. I don't feel good. think I better go home. Can you tell Chi-sensei about school early? I shouldn't let Chi-sensei know that I'm leaving school early if I'm trying to run away from them. If I didn't, they might think I ran away without cause. It might lead them to chase after me without mercy. If that happens, I don't stand a chance. Their plan is catching me till school is over, but I happened to feel sick and left school early. If they took it that way, they wouldn't think they noticed the news tightening around me. I was about to go back to the class and get my bag, but my mind turned around. I didn't need my bag anymore. I guess nobody was watching me, so I stopped pretending to be sick and started running. Okay. Okay. Chi-sensei, take a look at this. Take a look. They're spending so much God-fucking money into this goddamn gardening supply. We're never talking to these people again. I don't know where you found these people, but they don't give any discounts, so we're talking to someone else. Is something wrong with the documents? Yes, the date and the quote and the invoice are left blank. They're supposed to put today's date here. Oh, they want to leave them blank. They said they couldn't put the same date in the quote and the invoice. They told to leave them blank by general affairs. Okay, then. In this, the phone number in the invoice is different from the one in the envelope. Do you know which is the correct one? Oh, I didn't notice that. Hello, excuse me. Yes? What's the matter? The phone number in the invoice is different from the one in the envelope. Which one is correct? Oh, it's the one in the invoice. They used the old envelope we used our former office. I was thinking that they were moving. I'm sorry about that. I told our part-timer to add a stamp with a new phone number, but I guess she forgot. I apologize for the confusion. Can you just erase the number? Was Keiichi even around to hear this, actually? So he can't even add anything to this either, so yay. Another fine day in the land and town of Hinamizawa, right? Another takeout listing. Yeah, it seems to be more focusing on Reina's mental health then. There was the little small bits and tips of that on the first game, although yeah, actually it's thematically appropriate, like coming back to here then. So, So what's on this list? Another memo on the pile of the desk. The danger of a culture-bound syndrome lies in the fact that it can easily trigger delusional misidentification syndrome. As to say, in the current case, every time the patient sees something trivial, he tries to interpret it as a curse. And what was it? If they can sense a threat, or they absolutely hate a person, they would start thinking it's like confirmation bias, and they start assuming everything to it. That's really just the biggest sense of the word, honestly, right here, actually. Just confirmation bias. They start thinking one way, and then they start reducing information that was right there in front of them. Yeah, it's actually... This literally just is confirmation bias. The episode. Paranoia edition. Mass Hysteria. Special edition. That is to say, in the current case, every time the patient sees something trivial, she tries to interpret it as a curse. It's believed that as a result of the acclimation of these events in an understandable form, a delusional system is created, ultimately leading to paranoia. Furthermore, the patient is also exhibiting slight signs of personality disorder. Of course, it's at a very mild level. It's not causing any hindrance whatsoever to the patient's daily life. It's common for even healthy individuals to have primary delusions in their daily lives. They usually ignore it automatically without recognition, since those delusions are nonsensical. However, there are cases where these delusions accumulate despite being incomprehensible. It largely depends on the particular characteristics of the individual. It's believed that the patient shows relatively strong characteristics in this area. I believe you're very much aware that primary delusions are categorized into 3 different kinds. Delusional mood is a feeling of impending crisis without basis. Delusional intuition is a feeling of a sense of duty or goal without basis. Delusional perception is the feeling of a baseless cause against a baseless target. In the patient's case, it's believed that these incomprehensible delusions accumulated, acting out simultaneously with the culture-bound syndrome, which triggered a delusional misidentification syndrome, and ultimately caused the incomprehensible delusions to become understandable by interpreting them as a curse. The comprehensible delusional system induces understandable secondary delusions, further strengthening the patient's delusional system with the passage of time. The delusional parasitosis mentioned earlier can be considered a secondary delusion. A common factor of all cases of paranoia is that even after an outbreak, they still appear perfectly normal with no change in their personalities. They appear perfectly normal. The patients are unaware of their own ailments, and due to their personal interpretation of the delusional system, there are many cases where patients arm themselves logically, making it extremely difficult for a third party to point out that they're having a delusion. Yeah. Furthermore, although it may depend on the tendency of the delusions, there are also cases where a persecutorial delusion turns into a pursuit delusion or a conspiracy delusion, resulting in the patient creating an imaginary enemy and taking up antisocial behavior. It's I kind of tie that in with Keiichi, but even then, actually it kind of makes more sense, because like even like then, they were threatening him with no basis, even though he kept asking things over and over, so I don't really fault him for all that. Doesn't sound like that whole way, but with Reina, there's already like those kind of things just like showed up like so far, honestly. So, you know, like even when there was no one actually like purely threatening her, maybe just some weird odd occurrences, honestly. And also with the whole thing of the divorce back in the time, and then her killing like Rena and Teppy, that goes to this, honestly. Yeah, it kind of makes sense then. For example, there are cases where believers of a religious cult were deeply influenced by the cult founder's paranoid visions, which shifted the group into a conspiracy delusion, and that made them conduct antisocial behavior in the name of self-defense. Yeah, that's like them brought up like an old I guess one of the other like memos then, honestly, from if someone is like very trustworthy or like is someone close to them, they would probably like be influenced by it way much more, honestly, because I guess either because you're not committing to them their presence, honestly, you might just like forget their blind spots, honestly, or like just fully believe someone because you're that close and don't want to think badly of them, or in some case even if you do, you kind of just look over, gloss over, and think a different way of how they might be thinking. Could be that. Could be that. Although no such cases have been reported in Japan yet, it could very well happen in the near future. Fortunately, the patient hasn't reached that serious condition as of now. Oh yeah, and I guess that explains the whole Hinamizawa syndrome that was brought up in the third installment then afterwards. If there's like a couple people like that, like throughout the nation, I'm gonna hear about it. You can honestly hear the same thing if like you can attribute that whole thing with like Atlantis and UFOs and stuff like that, honestly, so yeah. With proper treatment, she should be able to make a full recovery. Please make sure that our father also understands that this is not an unusual case. It's something caused by accumulation of a number of innocent factors that anyone could have. The patient can be treated only by deepening her bond with her father. As long as she has that bond, she can certainly be treated. For the reasons above, the patient return to her home village. I strongly recommend the patient continue to receive guidance from specialized medical institutions. Please excuse me for writing such a long letter. Thank you for reading this until the very end. Yay. And it was not sent out from the looks of it. Yay. So I guess it was maybe in some way actually confirmed that only Reina and like her dad actually like came to the conclusion on their own, like talking about things for a bit. And then because how Reina thought like her dad like was still like trying to get over the divorce and things like that, then getting Reina as like Rena as a girlfriend, sorry. Then it led to I guess that distance, honestly, for a bit. I mean, actually, even if like real life they did get that letter, actually, if he did get that letter, I think that same flaw would actually still be remnant actually in there, especially after the whole thing actually. So I'm not even wondering if like this letter actually would help in the long run. Maybe it would dampen her like being more paranoid about everything like this, like to this extreme extent, which would make sense. But like, I feel like it'd be like kind of bits like almost everywhere, because even if like she was getting treatment, like it might dampen some of her paranoid things, honestly. But maybe she'd be healthy enough, or like thinking about it, or is she paranoid the police are like, yeah, that's the thing, because even if like the letter was given over, Oishi's now talking to her because of all that. And because of little scrapbooks and with Mio, and honestly, even if she was getting the letter, honestly, even if she was completely, utterly treated for like everything in her past, schizophrenia and like it's these like delusions, I feel like this would happen anyway, honestly. Especially with him killing him Teppy and and Rena, so there was absolutely no time to heal from it. Absolutely no time at all before the festival thing happened again, and she technically got acquainted with him a victim then, and then Paranoia struck all the way up again. It's another tragedy. It's definitely a more extreme case of tragedy and all that from Keiichi in the first installment, but now this like comes into contact with him I guess like actual mental illness and combination, which even if that was resolved, it'd still be not a very ideal situation, honestly. Maybe even if like didn't think it like that way even from the very end, honestly, it would lead to this. So literally just like mistreatment or like having like trauma that technically just makes you a bit more hostile to different things, which yeah, honestly. Yeah, I can attest to that. Yeah, it makes sense. It all makes sense, honestly. You have like certain acclamations or like certain behaviors when like this kind of like stuff pops up a few times, and it's gonna probably be a whole thing when maybe if I play so many other games or let's play many things, I'll come across some things which even I never considered before, and I get visceral reactions to it. It already happened several times in other games, honestly, when I would just completely just third party like watching just sitting on the couch or like just sitting at my desk, just lulling my head into my goddamn hands, drooling everywhere, like not just like mindlessly consuming, and then something touches my nerves, and then that it all makes sense. It makes sense like that. There's always gonna be something like that for some people, honestly. Yeah, this is not gonna work out too good, no matter. Thinking about it, actually, since even Rain like brought up the whole thing of like doubting him about Keiichi for a tiny bit before referring back to him all of that. And since Keiichi actually did get advice from Mion and all that to still stay on Reina's side, but also the same fact of him the mixing up of him of like don't address the problem, but also at the same time if like she does just go along with it. There's that whole thing. And now I just want to look more into that whole medical thing of like when people have delusions about what's the best way how to treat those, because that has appeared a few times either like that. But which is because the people like they actually talk to don't know how to do experience, or they had the wrong people to actually handle those kinds of ailments or mental illnesses. They have absolutely nothing to do to help, or literally they got to the right people, but through serious misunderstandings, or like actual hostile intent, it turns out horribly by the very end. Which holy shit, so many things can go wrong. So many things can go wrong. So quickly. So horrendously. Instead of miraculously a lot of things get better all the time. Oh boyo. Oh boyo. And that I'm now expecting that the phone call that Keiichi's gonna have with Rain next is gonna be the deal breaker, honestly. It's going to be. It's going to be based on how paranoid that Rain is. Oh boy. But I guess we'll see how that phone call goes. Oh, how terribly it ever will be, I can imagine. We'll figure all that much more for next time. So, hope a fun time watching as I am playing this. Hope to see you next time, what time that may be. And I all hope a fantastic day.